Hello everyone, I'm the French Monk and welcome back to another update video on Sword and Musket. I'm really excited for I'll be showing you guys some new visuals as well as footage directly sent to me by the modding team whilst checking out some of the more recent developer blogs as well. So make sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date on this project. Leaving a like is always appreciated, and without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, for those of you who've just come across this mod and you happen to need a brief summary on what it's all about, Sword and Musket is a Musket era based mod currently in development for Mount and Blade 2 Bannerlord. It is set during the French Revolution, the Revolutionary Wars, and the Napoleonic Wars. So from 1789 till 1815 if we take a look at the timeline. The mod will offer a scene-oriented single-player mode as well as multiplayer. So for single player, their preference is actually to offer players history in the form of chapters instead of in the form of a sandbox mode. I read on Discord that in these scenarios you'd be playing as Marshal Ney at times, Napoleon and Wellington at other times, but also as a corporal, and so on, though this is all still a draft and subject to change. The first goal of the Sword and Musket team has always been to launch this mode as multiplayer, with UK and France being the two main factions expected to release in the first phase, followed by Austria, Prussia, Russia, and then possibly even minor nations such as the Ottoman Empire, Kingdom of Italy, Spain, and so on. I've already seen some polls being made in the Sword and Musket Discord server in regards to which minor nations are favoured more by the community. Many a player from the Mount and Blade community, including myself, dream of a Bannerlord alternative to our beloved Napoleonic Wars DLC, and this modding team is doing everything it can to provide that experience to us, such as working together with level designers who have previously designed maps for popular NW servers such as Mini Siege and EU Commander Battle. They've also been asking and receiving help from the developers over at TaleWorlds, as well as requesting feedback and information from you guys, of course. So they've been doing all of this on top of designing uniforms, creating maps, as well as props, music development, and the list goes on. All of this during what we definitely can say are tough times with the COVID pandemic, as well as experiencing many a setback due to the fact that Bannerlord is still a game in development and early access. The lack of modding tools being a primary example of one of the issues that the modding team currently faces. Now, you guys have been anxiously waiting to know more about this mod, and after being so patient for such a long time, we were finally rewarded with 2 developer blogs. We had the Sword and Musket developer blog 1.0.2, Hougoumont, which was released back in mid-July and informed us about the difficulties that the modding team experienced throughout the past few months. Now, I've already talked about the delays that they had in terms of animations in some of my other videos, and naturally the Sword and Musket team further emphasizes this in the blog, as well as the discussions that they've had with the TaleWorlds development team, further acknowledging later in the video that the project would not have been made possible without their help. It is important for them to let you know that any of the problems they encountered related to animations were actually not caused by the modding team themselves, as they started animating from ground level up. Any other issues that the Sword and Musket team has had to deal with were in regards to the flora, rigging, global illumination, and just receiving massive errors. Aside from all the problems they encountered, they informed us that the sound design team is well on its way, creating French, British, Austrian, Prussian, and Russian voice commands, such as war cries, and also military tunes. I hope you're listening to this one, chat man. But yeah, they're still looking for voice actors, I believe, so should you be interested, I think you can still apply by checking the links in the video description down below. The cinematic start of developer blog 1.0.2 introduces, as the name says, the building of Hougoumont, or Chateau d'Hougoumont. We get some nice shots of the iconic walled farmhouse as well as its surroundings, showing us the gardens as well as the main compound. The defense of this fortified position was of vital importance during the Battle of Waterloo in June 1815, as it was one of the first places where Allied forces faced Napoleon's army. The project manager even mentioned in the Sword and Musket Discord that all the walls that you see in this video are destructible. I'll provide some more details on this when we get to the latest developer blog. We are further treated with some beautiful shots inside the building complex, along with some of the props and furniture that we've been shown in earlier updates. They're also showing us some of the unit models they've been working on, And to top it off, another glorious shot of British soldiers firing their muskets before clashing with French troops, before ending the video by heading in the direction of La Haye Sainte, presumably indicating and teasing us that they are working on this area of the battlefield next. So that was the second developer blog in short. Developer blog 1.0.3, Developer Diary, released little over a week ago and showcased us bits of their progress since, as well as informing us that they are working on 2 additional developer blogs. One of the things I like in the Napoleonic Wars DLC for Warband is the destruction that cannons could wreak on buildings, as well as heavy fortifications. Walls could be breached and thus more entry points for the attacking team could be made. This would often surprise the defending force and force them to concentrate on these points and possibly neglect others, making it a very dynamic and tactical fight. Now if we go back to the visuals of the Hougoumont scene, this scene was executed by designers Link and Keyforce, and this fort actually consists of 100% destructible walls. They have even gone to lengths to provide us with 3 different types of destruction. I believe you have the complete version, and then when it gets hit, and hit again by incoming artillery fire. They decided to share this content with us made by the 2D art concept team. This is all obviously really cool stuff, and I very much like the details of the state of the wall just deteriorating as the battle progresses. Aside from this, they've been able to show us a lot of progress in terms of props, and yeah, I'm not gonna be able to show all of them in this video as it is quite an extensive list. But yeah, here we got some furniture, we got some cupboards, and yeah, I just want to say that the attention to detail, if you look at these props, is just incredible. And well, overall, pretty much the work that they put in the project. It shows the level of dedication when it comes to making something that is as close to the real thing as possible. In regards to the Hougoumont map, having visited Waterloo myself quite a few times, as it's only an hour drive from where I live, it is amazing to see how they managed to recreate this iconic chateau. Though noticeable, I believe as it still needs to be playable, it has a lot more space to fit in more troops. In reality, the building complex is not that wide, but actually far more narrow. I don't know about the height of some of the walls either. I think it wasn't as high as depicted there, but about shoulder height, maybe even a little bit higher. Having looked it up, and after having a discussion with my father, who is one of the main reasons that I got so invested in the Napoleonic Wars and who has visited the battlefield himself so many times, we believe it should be around 6 foot or 180 centimeters. Low firing steps were made, as well as loopholes to allow the defenders to either raise themselves over that wall to fire their musket, or to fire through those loopholes and then reload in relative decent cover. But obviously this is being nitpicky. Other than that, I think it looks pretty damn good. Possibly a little less hilly in terms of environment, but otherwise good stuff. In terms of units being shown to us, and I'm showing you guys some bits of the new footage here of French and British soldiers taking some potshots at one another before clashing in a brutal melee. Some may have noticed in previous videos of the Sword and Musket team, like small details such as the British NCO insignia or the chevrons being upside down. Maybe you saw that the hats needed some adjustments, or the person carrying the flag with just one hand, which would actually be very difficult to keep it balanced unless you had another point of contact, such as like holding it against the shoulder. And I don't think I have actually much to add in terms of the uniforms, other than, well, those things that have already been mentioned. But yeah, I can only say that the groundwork is there. I really enjoy seeing these first units on the field of battle and fighting against one another, because I think it gives a general idea of where the project is actually going to, and it looks very promising, though noticeable that it is still a work in progress. That having said, if you are interested in helping out this project, the team is actually looking for 3D artists and coders. So if you know anyone who can help out, or maybe you yourself have some skills in these areas, definitely check out the Sword and Musket Discord, the link of which can be found in the video description, as well as all the information that can be found right there. They also have a ArtStation profile to which they will be adding a lot more content, so if you want to check them out over there and follow the progress of the modding team, the link to this profile can also be found in the description of this video. The Sword and Musket team has been working relentlessly, and I can only compliment them on their dedication and their work, although I'm sure you'll agree there is still a long road ahead. Should you guys wish to leave any feedback for the team about things that you may have spotted, you can do so by leaving a comment down below or by going directly to their Discord server and leaving a comment there. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and found it informative enough. If you did, make sure to hit that like button. And I want to thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.